and Bills to start. Do we trust the Bills or the Ravens more under their new leadership?
Well, I know Coach has got to agree with me now on this one, the Ravens. No, look, I'm looking at it this way. I think the Bills are going to be great with Joe Brady offensively. I think they'll be both teams will be contenders, but I have some question, I guess. I'll put it on the board about the Bills' defense.
Yeah.
Because I think Sean McDermott was obviously a very good defensive coach. And they had a ton of injuries, old players, and he always had them as like a top 10-ish defense. So I do question what the defense is going to look like. For the Ravens, I feel like just their defense has been, I know they came on last year, they came on the year before, but it hasn't been that typical Ravens defense we were used to. Mentor was there during some of the glory years as, you know, on the staff with the Ravens. He went to the Chargers, took them from 24th to 1st defensively as their coordinator a couple years ago. So I think defensively he's going to shore things up. Offensively, I just think they got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. They're going to be good. Lamar last year had a bad year for him. He still had a 103 passer rating, was second in the league in touchdown percentage. Like, he still put up numbers. And we know he wasn't typical Lamar, but they're going to be fine, I think, offensively. And my biggest concern about them has been the lack of discipline, the not being mentally tough in big games, particularly in the playoffs. And I don't know that Mentor can change that, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, he will. So I feel like the Ravens have a little more, I guess, upside with the new leadership.
And Lamar had those numbers without going to the offseason program. So sky's the limit now, or day two. And it's the rocket ship at this point. So Buffalo should have an advantage because of the continuity offensively. And Brady kept 12 coaches from the previous staff. So that should give him the edge. He's not learning a new playbook. There's not going to be that adjustment for your best player. So that's a real positive for them. But when you look at how this all took place and the decision in the locker room at the end of the season,
That's right.
the obvious impact and influence that ownership has on the organization, and the questionable impact that they've had over other organizations that they've owned historically. So to me, that's a problem, and that's not going away. So as a new head coach, how is he going to navigate through all of that? Where with Baltimore, it's always been a personnel-driven organization. And since the day one of the organization, I was there the first year, and that group, a lot of those people who were there when we transitioned from the Browns to the Ravens are still there. And a new head coach coming in, it's a little bit of plug and play because things are taken care of, and they're going to be able to just focus on coaching. He's going to be able to focus on coaching. He's been there before. That's a real advantage as well. And I think Steve Bisciotti is an excellent owner. He demands accountability, and he meets with them weekly, but he's not the type of guy that's going to force them to do things because his barber thinks it's a good idea, or some guy he met at the golf club says, hey, you should try this, or the Madden rating says, you know, take this guy and not this guy.
So I'm going to let Nick go, but like, are we confusing the Buffalo Bills with the New York Jets right now? What are we talking about right now?
I don't trust the Bills' leadership at all. I trust the quarterback intensely. So
Does that include Brady? You don't trust Brady either?
I don't know why I'm supposed to trust Joe Brady as an NFL head coach. He was a coordinator for Josh Allen. Every coordinator for Josh Allen since he's been Josh Allen, except for the guy who I always forget his name, who lost his mind breaking stuff in the Ken Dorsey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is a floor, and even Dorsey had success. There's a floor there. The only part you didn't mention about the hiring cycle was, and then they also really let Josh have a hand in it, which I think is always a little tenuous. And I trust the Ravens organizationally intensely. You mentioned ownership. I think they have a great GM. Jesse Minter was a guy a lot of people, I think, were going to hire or wanted to potentially hire as a head coach, as opposed to the internal, promotion for Joe Brady. The flip side is the Bills are coming off a good season and the Ravens are not. Josh Allen had a really good regular season.
Yeah.
I view Lamar's season not quite as positively as Brew does.
I get it was a
little bit of.
And so
but the numbers were
his passer rating and efficiency numbers were good. I felt week to week, game to game, it was the worst
scary.
season of his career.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this. The lack of faith in the Buffalo Bills right now is absolutely ridiculous. First off, I don't know what Brew is going on about. He seems really stuck on those defensive rankings from like 2021 or something. But this defense has consistently let the team down. And yeah, even with all the injuries, they were still top 10-ish. Fine, whatever you say. But just look at what that defense did against the Denver Broncos. And Sean McDermott's decision-making in that game was just baffling. Like, what are you even doing right now? What are you doing? Meanwhile, Josh Allen didn't just have a really good season. He had an elite season. He was single-handedly carrying that Buffalo Bills offense. He was an absolute superhero, a monster. An absolute monster. What he did against the Ravens, what he did against the Bucs, what he did against the Patriots, in all those games, he was a bona fide monster. That is not what Lamar Jackson had last season. It's just not. And yeah, if we're looking at a specific coaching hire between these two teams, I absolutely feel better about bringing in a Jesse Minter. If you're looking at both teams and saying you need to get to a 10 to be a Super Bowl winner, let's say the Bills are at a 5 and the Ravens are at a 5. Adding a Jesse Minter brings you up to a 7 or 8 in a way that some of the moves the Bills have made, like now hiring Joe Brady to be head coach, you're not necessarily adding that same lift. So some of it is defensive coordinating. Some of it is Joe Brady just having more control over how the offense is run, how the team is run, and more authority over Josh Allen. Because I've told you guys this before, even with some continuity, Joe Brady as head coach is going to be different than Joe Brady as offensive coordinator. And it's more than just the title. It's how he operates the offense, how he runs practices, what he expects. The relationship with Josh Allen will change as well. So it's more than just that. But here's the bottom line, Josh Allen is Josh. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. And even in his not-perfect game against the Denver Broncos, he still literally put the Bills in a position to win that game. He literally threw a dime to a receiver he has zero relationship and zero connection with. If that guy catches the ball, the Bills win that game. And we saw how the Patriots were looking. I feel pretty good about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills getting to the Super Bowl. I'll just be honest with you. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. You have the best quarterback in the NFL. In years past, it was easy to defend the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, how could we ever doubt them? And now here we are with the Buffalo Bills. No one is saying, who do you think is more likely to win the Super Bowl? That's not the conversation we're have. ING right now. We're not asking, who will be the better team? We're talking about trust. That's a very specific word. We can easily have a conversation, what's more likely, Bills win the Super Bowl or Ravens win the Super Bowl? Because you can say, well, both teams have come up short. Both of them have. But it's been different with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Undeniable. Absolutely, positively undeniable. So yeah. And again, I've already made a whole bunch of videos over the last couple of days defending Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, etc., etc. But it's just that Josh Allen is Josh Allen. Josh Allen is Josh Allen. And I think we're going to see an even better version of him this season. I think we're going to see a newer version of Josh Allen this season. Believe that. I believe that in my bones, to my core. I have no idea if we're going to see any new version of Lamar Jackson. In fact, I think we're going to continue to see the exact same version of Lamar Jackson. Which is great, which is spectacular, which is awesome. But it's not enough. And maybe Jesse Minter brings this defense and makes it elite, makes it top in the NFL, and then there you go. Then we're back to seeing the Ravens through the lens of say 2023, where you can hold the Kansas City Chiefs to 17 points. But then how does the offense execute? How does it execute in the playoffs? What's the decision-making like in the biggest moments? What do we see there? What do we see there? Those are genuine question marks I still have about the Baltimore Ravens. I think we are going to see a genuine evolution because Joe Brady is already talking about that with Josh Allen. And Josh Allen understands that. And it's unclear to me if some of these other quarterbacks have gotten that message yet. But I do believe Josh Allen has. And I think with Joe Brady as the head coach, he will be able to communicate and speak to Josh Allen and demand things from him in a way that I'm not so sure is the case with Lamar Jackson, just by virtue of his head coach being a defensive head coach. And a new coach. Lamar has a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive head coach. It's all new. Lamar is still that dude in the locker room. He is that focal point. I believe Lamar Jackson has more power in the Baltimore Ravens franchise, in that locker room, than Josh Allen has in the Buffalo Bills locker room. And I don't want the quarterback to have all the power. I don't want the quarterback to have the most power. I think the head coach needs to have the most power, and I think Sean McDermott did a poor job of building that power. He led them around kind of like a chicken with its head cut off. I do not think that's what will happen with the Buffalo Bills moving forward. So the rest will be roster construction, health, the draft, all that fun stuff. But I actually genuinely believe to my core we are going to see a different version of this Buffalo Bills team. As long as the defense can compete. I think we are going to see genuine growth and competence and a higher level of execution from the Buffalo Bills offensively, with the best quarterback in the NFL, none other than Josh Allen. So those are my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills? Who do you trust more, the Bills or the Ravens under new leadership? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you be part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.